Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody had a good Valentine's/President's Day weekend. We went over and had my knee shot up. I guess it's called PRP, is where they take blood out of you, centrifuge the blood, so all the not the templates, I forget. The white, I can't remember the words, but takes all the healing stuff to one end. Platelets, there we go, thank you. Down and concentrates it. They take that blood and inject it right back into your knee. And so anyways, ozone therapy. It's called PRP. Well, the results were your first night or two, your knee just aches like crazy. I was kind of back to normal where it was before the injection, but they said in about a week or two, because it's got much greater healing processes to it, that it will it should heal up by then. Okay. Botox. So the real convincing factor was a few years back, Hines Ward was out for the Super Bowl because of knee problems, that he'd had to have surgery, but they decided to do this PRP, and in 2 weeks his knee was all healed up, and he broke records during that Super Bowl. So hopefully I'll be breaking some records in the Super Bowl here pretty soon. Okay. The only problem with this rally is that right here was not a signal. Now, the Steelers haven't called yet, but it's kind of the off season yet still. I've got a bunch of people waiting to see how well this works. For them all to also try it. So this not being a reversal, but it did occur right at the same place that the markets bottomed out before on the Dow. The Nasdaq, on the other hand, did have some bottoming action here and gapped up. So it's got kind of a little scoop type pattern. So that's more compelling. And the big one is the transportation index, slowly coming up, and now today closing up above the 50-day moving average. That could tell us that we have a few more days to the upside, bringing you back up to this level before you see any profit taking occur. So that kind of implies that we might have a few more days to the upside, but it also implies that since we haven't had a major reversal here, that we should be watching to see what happens right at this level. But if it gets up here and resists, then we know we're in a sideways mode versus a full-scale reversal. With that, some of the influences like crude oil. Crude oil has been trying to bottom in here, but hasn't turned the corner yet. So we're still in this slow downward trend. We did have a kicker signal, but not any follow through as of yet. But it looks like at least it's now trying to base in here, keeping crude oil pretty steady. Now the ones that I've gone after in the futures side is we shorted the euro as it broke back through here with the first target back here to the 200, which would be what they used as support here and what they used as resistance here. So got to see if it's going to come back and test that level. That was also a function of seeing the dollar after some nice signals here, then your big inverted hammer, and then bullish confirmation afterwards above the T-line. Good indication that the dollar should come up and at least test the 200. If it breaks through there, obviously the 50 is going to be the next area. The diamonds, yeah, they have more of a signal, but that's mostly because it's more choppy of a trader as an ETF. So it's got kind of the bottoming action. It's just in the Dow is that we don't really have a reversal signal. And I think the same scenario with the S&P 500, in the futures, more so. Let's see, move horizontal line, move all horizontal lines. And so I guess the only one that's really not showing any compelling reversal is the Dow. But that just kind of leads us to the suspicion that as soon as it gets up to this level, if it gets up to this level, watch to see if it breaks through. But that also implies that we probably have another 2 or 3 days to the upside, which means we want to be predominantly long here on the short term. And let's see, what else were we looking at? Oh, we did crude oil. Gold is what you pretty much can go against, because we've got kind of a big evening star signal up here, and after hours it's trading down a little bit. So if they break this, if they trade this weaker, this is where a lot of people say, well, do you trade the Fibonacci numbers? Not really. But I can see there's a big uptrend and a big reversal. The question becomes, where is that uptrend possibly going to pull back to? So you throw your Fibonacci numbers on here. It's either this level, or this level. Coming back to this level would kind of correspond with coming back and testing the 200-day moving average. So, watching the 10-minute chart, whoops. Getting a little pop to the upside right now. But notice on our 10-minute chart, we're not quite in the oversold area. So that would lead to a little bit of suspicion that they're still in a downward trend channel. But this is just a quick pop. Now I have to see if they start bringing it back down. Oh, yeah, shorting the bonds. Had they, oops, that's a 10-minute chart, which isn't telling us too much of anything. We've got the big evening star signal. So getting ready to short bonds, but I would short the bonds right now with a sell stop right here at this level. But if they came down through there, that we want to start shorting, same scenario, nice steady uptrend. Where's it going to pull back to? Either the 20 or the 50, or if we throw Fibonacci numbers on here, well, it hit, whoops, that's not it. Here's your 38% retracement, here's your 50% retracement, and here's your 62%, which over a few days, that could correspond with coming back to test the 50. Okay, let's see what else we got. Oh, back to gold. Gold had a decent looking reversal. But with silver. That's not the right one. Silver also had a nice big evening star signal. And where did it close today? Right back down here at the T-line. Trading a little bit lower right now. So we watch this one to see if there's still some pullback on this one. So silver, that's why we're starting to see some changes. We'll look at nugget and some of those here in a little bit. Okay, let's see what else. All right, some of the ones that we're watching. STRP. Look at the T-line crunch that puts this right up through the 200. Just stay long. At this point, with it being up in the overbought condition, put your sell stop at the previous day's open. If they start coming back through there, that tells you that's where the profit taking is starting. Now, we recommended Rovi today because it's had a nice 45 degree off the big move, J-hook type pattern. I'd expect the trajectory to continue right on up. So that one should be a good steady eddy. We also recommended TMST, which was in a kind of a rounding bottom or a nice morning star signal. It came back and it tested the T-line. So for this one to stay long, Sean, I'll get to that in a little bit. Because we're working on that trade, so I'll go into that with a little bit more detail. But on this one, TMST, we definitely need to see it open positive and trade positive. If it opens lower and starts trading lower, that tells us that this downtrend is still in progress, or this downtrending channel, which is also coinciding with this whole downtrend. You probably want to come back out of it. Let's see. Oh, this one was a good one today. FCX. I mean, this is why you want to know what the probabilities are from your patterns. There's your bobble. Failed at the 50. Hold back. There's your best friend. If it opened positive or traded above the 50 today, you wanted to be buying immediately. So buying it here and having it close up here was a good trade. And I would still suspect your next target is up in this range. So you still got another 15-20% upside to this. And that's just seeing if it fails at this range. It could go higher, especially coming out of this bobble J-hook pattern. And again, when I went through real quick to see what was going to be trading up this morning, I saw that Cuervo had a hammer gap up yesterday, Friday, closed above the T-line, which made it very simple. That was a good bullish signal with the close above the T-line. Made it very simple. If it opened positive today, we wanted to be buying, which we did right away, because if it opened positive, it was confirming this signal, and it was breaking through this downward trend channel. Because look where we are on this TRP. The question is, why would we not wait for it to close back below the T-line? Because we're in the overbought condition. We're moving up steady. We're moving away from the T-line. So if there was enough selling pressure to bring it back down through today's open, that would be a good indication that in the overbought area, this is where the selling was starting. That we want to close it out and wait to see if it does come back to the T-line. Because if it does, that's a good 10% move just to get back there. So I'd rather close it out. I can always buy it back if it comes back, starts back up again. But the probabilities say if we're in this overbought condition and we're that far away from the T-line, if we see any selling, well, the sell signal would be probably if it opened anywhere and came back through today's open, Again, up here in the overbought condition, the probabilities are pretty strong. It's going to create some sort of sell signal. So you can do it whatever way you want to. It's just that the probabilities are if they bring it back down through the today's open, more than likely the selling has started and they're going to bring it back to the next support level, either 200 or the T-line. Oh, KMI. Good looking chart. Had kind of a doji gap up, now another gap up. If this opens positive, you definitely want to be buying, hoping for a doji sandwich that breaks you out through this level, giving you some more upside. USG, you're following from earlier. There's your J-hook pattern, another one that you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow, and just watch to see what it does at the 50. Oh, let's see. And Boot still owning after the kicker signal. As you can see, there's one compelling factor here. They have not been able to close this back below the T-line. Likely target is still here at the 50-day moving average. This is just a simple trend, indicator that if you see a good strong buy signal, you just hold until you see it close back below the T-line. Oh, that's true on KMI. That was true. I forgot that. The KMI was trading up in this range somewhere after the close. AYA, notice your Morningstar signal and where did it occur? Right smack dab on the 50. This one you can be buying on positive trading, because if you look at the overall chart, your kicker signal to the downside, now your gap up message above the T-line, pretty much you can tell they broke this downtrending channel. It makes this very simple. As long as this stays above the T-line /50 area, you definitely want to be holding on to this. And any strength from here gives you kind of a little J-hook pattern that you got another move up into this area. And what am I doing here? Oh, this one we were short. I would have covered this one on Friday if I'd been here, not anticipating there was going to be a huge move like we saw, but there was a left-right combo. The only thing that hasn't occurred yet is it closed right at the T-line. You know the 50 is a downtrending factor, but it makes it very simple tomorrow. It has to open lower and trade lower to stay short. If it opens positive, we close out the position on the short side. Then you can get ready to buy this if it closes back up above the 50-day moving average. ACAT, good J-hook pattern. Get ready to buy this one on positive trading tomorrow. So if you own it, you stay long. If you are looking to buy it, you get ready to buy this coming up through, whoops, where'd my cursor go? Up through the 50. Okay, on the 23rd, what is today? The 16th, so it's another week away. Let's see, I got my list way over here too far. CFX, another one we've been following, another one that can be bought on positive trading tomorrow. Morningstar signal right on the T-line. That's just a good indication they're not going to go back below the T-line. And KMT, another Nice little cup and handle. Another one that if you're buying this one tomorrow, just watch to see what it does at the 50. Oh, it was the golds. So closed out our AU. We didn't have a huge position, but had some in there. When it opened lower, started trading up, but this is a very simple exit. It shouldn't be gapping down below the previous day's open, but when it started trading up, there was still a chance, but if they turn it around and come back down through the open, that's when you close it out. That means, first of all, it's going in the wrong direction of what you wanted it to be, and then on the day that you shouldn't be in it anymore, if it had stayed up, fine and dandy, but after it came up and then started selling off in the wrong direction, and it came back down through the previous day's open, or today's open, that's when you should close it out, because where was it likely heading to? At least back to the T line. ST, where did I get a T out of that? SA, also looks like it's right at the spot where it has to open positive and trade positive tomorrow to stay in it. Which gets us to one of the shorts that we're working on is Nugget. So this is where you kind of observe the obvious. What should it be doing? Let me make this a little bit smaller. What should it be doing? Right here. Should be breaking out. It shouldn't be doing a kicker signal back to the downside. So another one where you throw your Fibonacci number on to see how far back they might bring it. And again, that's a function also of watching the gold chart. But if they start trading this down tomorrow and bringing it back, Nugget is going to start selling off pretty hard. So doing a speculative trade. Today on the close, which was trading right about in here, I bought the February puts. That's gold. Nugget. Bought the February puts and bought the March puts with the idea that if they back this off for a couple of days, especially in Nugget, they could move this down 6, 8, 10 points very quickly before turning it around. We still have MTX because of the fry pan bottom. Look at the little bobble action right here. Came up through it today. I don't know what that is. But there's potentially your next target. Still a good percentage move to the upside. DEC had that huge belt hold. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading. This is exactly what you want to see after a belt hold. Is it continuing up? It tells you there's less buyers in the way because they took out, less sellers in the way because they took out a lot of sellers on this day. That gives it a lot more oomph to the upside. CHRS. There was make this bigger. This had all the inklings of a fry pan bottom. Then you had your inverted hammer, bullish confirmation. Now you have a kind of a trend kicker doji sandwich. Definitely want to be buying this one on positive trading with the implication that it's heading for the 200-day moving average. Okay, the biggies. Netflix just didn't get off the ground here today. Got to watch to see what's happening here. You need to see a strong buy signal to see this one break out. Apple did have a little bit of confirmation today with the doji gap up, kind of breaking the T line. This one you can start playing. Now, obviously, it's not a big percent move just to get back up to the 50, but if you're trading the options on this one, you're probably heading in the right direction at this point. And Tesla just hasn't been able to get back up above the T line. So this leads to a little bit of suspicion here. I don't know what that is. There wasn't really confirmation. And as you can see, the trading to the upside is they open it higher and close it lower, open it higher, close it lower. Now they're at the T line, and they opened it positive and closed it lower. This gives you a good indication that if they start selling this off, all you have is a bearish J-hook that you want to start shorting this again. There's not unless they gap this up and take it up strong through the T line. When they take something up that indecisively to the first resistance level, get ready to see if they aren't ready to sell this off into the next wave. Okay, and we did Apple, Amazon. Amazon just barely got up above the T-line today, but traded indecisively. You could buy this on positive trading tomorrow because it tells us they're moving it in positive direction after the T-line, and they're staying above a positive direction after a doji, and they're staying above the T-line. So your inverted hammer, bullish confirmation, where was your first target? The T-line. When they got up there, as of Friday, traded indecisively, told us a message. They were going to move it in the direction of how they opened it, which was positive. Now we've got that same potential message. They're going to move it in the direction of how they open it tomorrow. Oh boy, that was just the ones we've been looking at. Still lots of good-looking charts. HIMX, there's your cup and handle. Wouldn't be afraid to buy this one on positive trading tomorrow. This one, Allegheny Technology, there's your bobble. You definitely want to be buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. Icon, there's your slow curve. I wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on any strength tomorrow also. And I saw David L. pointed out RWLK. On a little mini scoop, inverted hammer, bullish confirmation, another one that I wouldn't be afraid to be buying, anticipating this could have a good 40-50% upside before it hits the real first real resistance level. Another bobble on JWN, Nordstrom's. Doji gap up, bobble. You ready to buy this one on positive trading tomorrow? Probably a good option trade setup on this one. I don't know where this one came from, but Ben has a nice little scoop pattern that gapped up today. Look for a lot more follow through. I'm still short GLNG, but as I say, I was short because I didn't close it out on Friday because I wasn't here, and today it closed right on the T line with a doji. So it makes it very simple. If they open this positive tomorrow, I'll probably close it out. The only way to stay short at this point is to see it open lower. CLDX, another one that David L. pointed out today. This one you can be buying on positive trading. What you really want to see is that they break this downtrending channel, which is right about where they are right now. ICE, I'll get to all the individual ones here in a second. Just wait for Jim to do the double line. When I tell him to do the double line, then you type in up to two stocks that you want to look at. ZFGN. you can get ready to buy this one on positive trading. You can see the rounding bottom, and you can see how the T-line crunch was in progress. Be ready to buy this one tomorrow on positive trading. And NK, nice little bottoming action. Another one that you can be buying based upon the dojis down here. And if it does get moving, where's your next target? Up here at this level at the 50, which is pretty much about a 90% upside potential. Yes, I'm still short GLNG. But again, that was because I wasn't here Friday, not thinking we were going to have a big, huge day. I would have probably covered it right here after your left-right combo. Now I'm looking at it on the basis that we're right at the T-line. We're still below the 50. It has to open lower to stay short. Now, how come that doesn't come up? Another J-hook pattern on NVGS. Potential target right here at the 200. You got your kind of your bullish flutter kicker above the T-line. Tells us there should be a lot more upside. And SMCI, another nice J-hook pattern. Another one that I wouldn't be afraid to be buying on positive trading tomorrow, because if wave one is about 10 points, this should take you up into about the $41 area. And CSIQ also had your best friend signal coming out of a scoop pattern. I would suspect your next target is the 50 and the 200. There's a little gap up here at the 200 area. Let's see, I thought I did NK. Yes. And Kendai. Again, your best friend. If it opens positive, more than likely you're going to see a pop back up to the 200. These are the things I look for first in the morning, is your best friend signals. Because those are the ones that are going to probably create the strongest force. That was kind of the rationale for going after Cuervo today, when it opened positive after your best friend signal. All right, ones to go short are the golds right now. AU is a good short with the kicker type signal closing back below the T-line. And Nugget, whoops, let's do that backwards. Nugget also with a kicker type signal right here at the top of the resistance level and at the 200. See if they don't bring this down a little bit. If we see weakness tomorrow, remember this is a leveraged. So if you're able to identify what's happening in a price move, and you know the price move is leveraged, it just gives you a good spot to take that knowledge of which way it's probably moving and take advantage of it. And then on top of that, if you know it's leveraged, you can buy the puts on a leveraged situation. That's just that much more juice that you can get in your trade. Yes, and Dust. Dust, almost a kicker type signal, but the opposite of your Nugget. You can be buying Dust if you don't like going short or buying puts. Oops, a couple more. VIPS, best friend signal. Wouldn't be afraid to buy this on positive trading based upon the same analysis as we saw in Cuervo with the doji gap up. What strike level do you anticipate for Nugget? Sean, I don't really care. What I'm just so it's whatever your risk factor is. So there's two ways to play it. I think the Nuggets. Yeah, I think their 40s were like $1.85 or $2 for February. I think it went down to a 39 in March, because what I'm really playing is just probably a 2-day trade at best if it pulls back over the next couple of days. On the anticipation that if gold trades weaker tomorrow, they could take this down another 3 or 4 points real quick. It was down 14.5 points today. So if they took it down another 5 points. Again, Ken, that's up to each individual's, say, trading factor. Yes, you could do the weeklies if you wanted to. Okay, that's about all I've got. You could probably do the same things with silver trades with that evening star signal. If it breaks through this level here, it's going to drop back pretty hard real quick. Okay, so are there any general questions on candlesticks? In your view, at what level in the market do you feel a little comfort while leaving stocks overnight, not wondering that they will turn market around again? You got to kind of figure, remember, prices move, markets move, all based on investor sentiment. And we can see what the investor sentiment is in this market. Up, down, up, down. But we can also see on a little bit wider swing, there's a bottom, there's a top. So I would figure over the next couple of days that we're probably going to be at least in a moderate uptrend until we reach this level. So at that point, I just say, all right, I don't worry about holding longs overnight. If you're somewhere in something like this or somewhere in something like this, yeah, then it becomes a little bit more difficult to you really want to have your chart really telling you that they aren't reversing on an individual stock. Cheryl, a bobble is a highly technical term. Which one was the bobble? Oh. FCX was a bobble. A bobble is you have a nice strong price move, and then you see the failure up here. You had your shooting star. They couldn't get up above the 50, so it was time to take profits in here. Well, when it got back down here, the T-line, they started back up, so it was just like we're bobbling in here. So if you closed it out here, if you bought it back here, or if you bought it here, it was because your bobble was over, and now the result of a bobble is usually that J-hook pattern, which tells you once they've broken out through this level, which everybody's watching, because they apparently were watching it here when they failed. Now they're seeing that the 50 hasn't failed anymore. They're all jumping back in. So it becomes a very high probability trade setup. Oh, the leverage on Nugget is that you're buying an entity that's already leveraged as part of that buying, or as part of that trading indicator. So up here you can see this is the daily gold miners bull, and it's leveraged by 3 times. So that means whenever they're buying, or just the entity itself, that for every dollar that they have put in here to buy or sell, they've also leveraged it with $2 more that they've borrowed, so it moves a lot quicker. I think JNUG. Oops, that's the other one. I forget what the other ones are. There's one that's leveraged 2 times, and then there's the normal one that just follows. I don't know whether it's this one. Anyways, it's just that they've already leveraged by margining the buys and the sells. Could you show a kicker signal again? The last kicker signal that I can think of offhand is boot, which is your kicker signal is your strongest signal. Notice you were in a downtrend. It opened here and closed here. The next day they opened above the previous day's open and went the opposite direction. Oh, GDX? Okay, GDX is... So if you're more conservative, you can buy this one. When it backed off, it only backed off from whatever this was, 19, and closed the day at 17, 18, or 17.20 or so, which means it backed off by, I don't know, X percent, whereas Nugget, doing the same, trading off the same indicator, gold, this is backed off 3X percent. So if Nugget drops, will it drop faster? No, if gold drops, that means Nugget will drop faster. Yes, and if it drops, it'll drop in a bigger percentage. So you're just getting the leverage. Leverage is margin. That if you're buying something on margin, which means for every dollar you put in, they lend you another dollar, so you can buy $2 worth of stock. That means you've leveraged your position a little bit. No, I wouldn't say. Usually a blue ice failure would be when you see a sell signal up here in the overbought condition. Now that would have been more to be a blue ice failure, but then they've turned it around. So at this point, with stochastics coming back up, I'd look more at this as a J-hook type pattern, about ready to break out through the resistance level. Okay, all right. I guess with that, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And in 3.1 seconds, go ahead and do the other double line. Lumber liquidators. That's a nice little slow rounding curve. I'd be buying this, but I'd probably buy it on enough strength to get it up through the 50-day moving average. And AAC, that's a nice steady eddy. You stay long, just use the T-line as your stop. Kindred Healthcare, that's a good short. You can see the dumpling top, slow curve, their doji sandwich. That's a very good short situation. I'm putting a little star next to that. Will Shosbitz. I'm going to sting this on my desk here. Big lots. If you were short, you should have been out of it today. Wouldn't go long until it does close above the T-line. And at that point, still, it needs to see a strong signal. It's not a real prolific mover. But if it closes above the 50, it's telling you it's moving in the right direction. Kroger, I probably wouldn't be long or short. As you can see, it's in a downtrending channel. If you're short, You just have to watch, excuse me, to see what happens at the 50, because you got that resistance channel at that point. And remember, Kroger doesn't have a real wild percentage move to it also. Boeing, another one that if you were short, I would probably have covered the short today on the positive open with the anticipation they were going to bring it back up to test the T-line area. So at this point, I wouldn't be short, but I wouldn't be long either. CRF or CLF, that's a good-looking chart. Just make sure your volume is good. And CFX, you stay long on this one. You can be buying this one on positive trading on your fry pan bottom J-hook pattern, one that you can buy immediately on a positive open tomorrow. Sonic, left-right combo, inverted hammer, gap up. Stay long. Probably wouldn't do anything real major with it until it does break out through the 50 or this congestion area. But if you're long, I'd stay long. All you can do on O is just stay long as it stays above the T-line. You've got the little J-hook pattern. You just stay long as it doesn't close below the T-line. ATD, BK, that one is not coming up. TRN, time to get out of a short position? Yes, I would. First of all, you had your doji, your hammer, your stochastic coming back up. And it closed above the T-line. If you didn't close it out today, you definitely close it on a positive open tomorrow. And that's on the basis, too, that if you can look at something that's in an uptrend and should be going down, but you can see there's buying starting in here, that's not the short position you want to be in unless there's something compelling about it, like it wasn't able to close above the T-line. But at this point, the trajectory is sideways to up, which isn't a good place to be if you're short. Barnes & Noble, nice big fry pan bottom type pattern, slow curve. You can buy this one on positive trading tomorrow. SVU, stay long on this one. You can be buying it as long as the volume is good. You stay long on this one. It was going to move in the direction of how they opened it after a doji. And as you can see, after they opened it, it was telling you that the 200 was not acting as a resistance. So your first target could be up to this level. You're right at this resistance level. I would just stay long, though, right now. I'd use today's open as my stop. I wouldn't want to see it come back down through that level. And Cray. Oh, I didn't do Cray. Only Cray was one that I wanted to show that if you were short, then all of a sudden you saw it moving back up above the T-line and the high of the previous day. What's that basically telling you? That the 50 was acting as support and they were still buying. You definitely wanted to be out of that one. Now, look for a 45 degree to come off of here. BDC, stay long. Wobbled here at the 50, which makes the 200 your next target. The short the bonds, which means positive. You can still buy this one on positive trading tomorrow. Blue, you could be buying this one. There's really not a whole lot of energy in it yet. If you're buying, you definitely have to watch to see what it does at the 50. If it fails there, you come right back out of it, because that would be more confirmation there's not a whole lot of juice coming into it. Fold, little Set of dojis, gap up. You can buy this one on positive trading, which would tell you they're breaking this downward trend channel. RJET, big fry pan bottom. If your volume is good on this one, you can stay long as it stays above the T line, because it should be coming back up, well, at least here. Now, right now it's at the point where the indecisive trading started. I would think that there's going to be a couple good pops now back up to the 50-day moving average. But on this one, you just stay long just on the basis that it's not closing below the T line. HDP, nothing exciting here yet. I wouldn't be long on this one yet until I saw something that showed that there was some good, strong buying coming into it. HIB, now that one I'd be more apt to buy because of your flutter kicker. And if they open this one positive, they're breaking through this. Let me make this smaller and see if there's a kind of your cup and handle setup. I'd be buying this one on positive trading. And VLRS, nice fry pan bottom. You stay long on this one. Overstock. There was your big move. Now you're in 45 degree. Very simple. You just stay long as long as it doesn't close below the T line. IB, you could be buying this one. That's the biotechs are starting to come back. Nally, you can own this one. I'd be a buyer of this one if it came back up through the on a positive open tomorrow, because it tells you you're in an uptrend. Plus, I'm anticipated still paying about a 14% dividend. Zebra, another one you can buy on positive trading tomorrow. Just use the 50 as your stop if it opens positive. OPK, nothing. Wouldn't be long or short this one. Nothing, no trend, no signals one way or the other. The ultra short S&P, you can stay short on this one, which basically means the trend is still up as far as the overall market. Big lots, you can be buying this one, not a real wild dynamic one, but that would give you a good, oh, this is Lulu. Lulu, you can be buying this one. It's good, probably good steady eddy coming into it, as long as it stays above the T line. And Abbott Labs, you can buy this one. Abbott doesn't have a real wild price movement, so you'd have to move up. And you have to move up above the 50, back up to this area just to get about a 15% return. Chipotle, starting to get some feet underneath it again. This one I would be buying. Just make sure it can get through this level, which is right where it is right now. OME, you can buy this one. The gap up through this resistance level on a J-hook pattern, you'll still have more upside. Bison, what color is that? Bison, yeah, definitely wouldn't be long. If you were short, that would have scared me. But the fact that they closed it back below the T-line would allow me to stay short in it. That one you could be buying. Kicker type signal, breaking through the downtrending channel. I'd buy this one on the expectation that it's heading up to the 50. And Whiting, nothing here yet, but we're getting close to a double bottom. So the next time it comes up through the T-line, if it does that in the next few days, you got a double bottom, then we'll start adding Whiting back to the portfolio. ProShares, the Biotechs, you can stay short on this one, which is what was the opposite, IBB, which is one you can be buying. TZA, stay short. AMBA, you can be buying. Just be diligent when it gets to the 50. But right now with the gap ups, I would think that at least they're going to come back up to the 50. And Alta, this one needed to get up above the T-line. If you're long and it opens lower tomorrow, close it out. That means they've failed at that level. It may take it a while to get started again. ABMD, not an exciting stock to trade. Just doesn't have a great trend to it. If you like it, you stay long, but I'd watch to see what it does at the first resistance level. AutoZone, all you can do here is stay long, but now you have to watch to see if it can get through this downtrending channel. Caterpillar. Caterpillar, not very exciting either, except it can be bought if it breaks through this downtrending channel. You've had a nice signal in here, which is a Morningstar signal, then a gap up through above the T-line and through the 50. So any buying from here breaks this level. That makes your 200-day moving average a likely target. Skechers, another one you can stay long. It's not a very exciting trader at this point, but if you like it, you stay long right now. And GBT, that's got a good little scoop pattern. This one you can be buying with the expectation it's going to come up and test this level. If it gets through there, it's going to slingshot up to the 50. AGMN, stay long, use the T-line as your stop. Royal, this one you can be buying also. Be aware of the downtrending channel. So I'd suspect at least it's going to bounce back up and test the 20-day moving average. This one's a good-looking chart. TWOU. I'd be a buyer of this one on strength tomorrow and use the T-line as your stop. Halliburton. Nothing wild, exciting here just yet. It still needs to get above the T-line. I'd wait for a close above the T-line before doing anything. General Motors, nothing exciting here either. No reversal signal. Just an up move. I'd be trading something else. Facebook. Wouldn't be long or short this one. It just does not have a good trend movement to it. Just not a good chart to try to analyze. Let's see, was this Chipotle? You can be buyer of that one. McDonald's. Another one that I wouldn't be trading it, but if it stays above the T-line, you can stay long. It's more for a long-term hold. Baba. Baba you can be buying. There's your best friend. That one I would definitely look at tomorrow. Because your first likely target is right up here, which coincides with coming up to test the T-line. I'm sorry, the 50. This one, another not real exciting one. If you're long, you stay long. It also has to break through this level. So if you like it, you stay long on this one. Weight Watchers, you can be buying this one if you like trading this one. You can see that it's definitely supporting at the 200. And you've got an inverted hammer, bullish confirmation. So you can buy this one. Positive open tomorrow. Need to see it get through this little downtrending channel. Don, I just look at what is the market telling me right now. Market tells me it's in the oversold area and it's coming up. Whether you're looking at the Dow or the NASDAQ, they're coming up. So right now I would be predominantly long, meaning 60, 70% long. And just to not have to look for so many shorts, I can see that the gold stocks that were up strong are coming down strong. So that just gives me more indication to be short in the golds. There's a little scoop pattern on TK. So this one can be bought tomorrow on Positive Trading. This one, if you like it, you can be buying it. You just have to be very diligent at the 50 because that's where this resistance level is. If I was going to buy this, I'd rather pay for it up here knowing that it broke through this level and broke this whole downtrending mode. Goog having a hard time getting back up above the T line. So it's going to tell you what it's going to do tomorrow based on how they open it. So which means it has to open positive for long. Price line, you can see the double doji sandwich in here. So I would anticipate they're bringing this one back up to the 50-day moving average. And Labu. Oh, why does this one do that? I don't know why they don't get Labu over here. And Lab D, the same thing. Just don't give, for some reason, they just don't come up. But Labu, obviously, you want to stay long right now. Oh, John, I'm anticipating from what everybody else says that that the healing process is pretty fast. So right now I'm just back to where I was before I had the shots, which is livable. GG, another one that has to open positive to stay long tomorrow. Otherwise, they're going to come back and at least test the T line. And LNG, this one you can be buying on Positive Trading tomorrow. Let's see what else we got here. You skipped. I skipped what? Oh, WABA? Okay, I was way out there after a whole... WABA, another one that you can be buying. WABA and BABA. Anticipate that it could come back up into this area. T Y V M. TY, that does not work well. TYVM. That symbol is not found. We did Royal Caribbean. You can buy this one. Just make sure it gets up through the downtrending channel. Fastenal. Fastenal looks like as long as it stays above the T line, you can stay long, and probably you can even buy this one on Positive Trading tomorrow, breaking this kind of little J-hook pattern. All right, a few more, and then we'll call it a night. MPWR, nothing exciting here. Not a real, not a real wild mover. And it's got a slow downtrend. I probably wouldn't be trading this one at all. When you just stay long on this one, anticipating heading for the 200 Reynolds Centers scoop type pattern. You can buy this one tomorrow. Just watch to make sure it gets through this level. The bonds, stay long, short the bonds, stay long on TBT. CTL, you stay long on this one ever since the little kicker type signal, J-hook pattern. I'd use the 200 as a stop. Nice little scoop pattern on tank. You can buy this one as long as the volume is good. I think we did Olin, didn't we? You can be buying this one. Just make sure when it gets back up toward the 50, that's where you start watching for resistance. XIV, nothing yet until they can close it above the T-line. And ZUM, you just stay long as this stays above the T-line with the anticipation they're probably bringing it up to the 200. Guild, stay long, 50 as the target. And Cheesecake, another one that you can stay long, not a real exciting one. Not a real exciting one at all, not even a real clean. And you got a fry pan bottom J-hook. I would suspect it's going to come back up to test the 50, which isn't that far away. The short, the Qs, you can stay short. All right. Remember, we might have another couple days. We just want to be more diligent once we get up to this level, because we can kind of already start drawing a potential channel here. So that's where you really want to watch to see if they can get through that level. Okay, with that, we'll see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll see you then.